It started with silence. The kind of silence you don't even notice until it's gone. Clean mountain air, the quiet hum of wind threading through Virginia pines, and somewhere out there an old owl calling across the dark. That was why we moved Hiram and Allison. After 2 decades chasing scumbags for the feds, always on alert, always with some jerk breathing down my neck about protocol, I was ready for something slower, something honest. Just land, water, and Familino red tape, no drama. I thought I'd finally found that here, tucked in a sliver of the Blue Ridge, a patch of earth with its own spring-fed lake and more trees than I could ever count. The place was wild when we got it. Cattails clogging the shore, algae painting the water green, some local kids sneaking out at night for parties. None of it scared us off. Actually, it was part of the charm. I wanted a project. The deed was clear, the survey was ironclad. 70% of that lake, and most of the shoreline, legally belonged to us. The rest curled up toward a neighborhood called Lakeshore Ridge Picture Perfect mansions stacked on the hill, everyone with a spotless mailbox and a no parking sign, like some Stepford community from a catalog. And, of course, the HOA Homeowners Association running it all with a rulebook thicker than a phone directory. We knew about them. Didn't care. Their say-so stopped cold at our property line literally. We had the place surveyed 3 times just to put a fence around future arguments. Pins in the ground, satellite images, topo overlays, the whole works. I wasn't paranoid, I was prepared. 2 decades with the feds will do that to a man. It didn't take long to find out who ruled Lakeshore Ridge. Karen Graves. 60, silver blonde, sharp as a hatchet, voice like a law school dean, and, yeah, the kind of woman who could find a neighbor for flying the wrong flag on Memorial Day. I'd heard stories, roll my eyes, and figured she wasn't my problem. She lived in a different universe, one with newsletters, matching trash bins, and a lawn police. Meanwhile, I was over here running a chainsaw and hauling lumber, trying to make something new out of an old patch of wild. That first year was good. Allison and I worked the lake, dredged the weeds, stocked it with bluegill and catfish, hauled out every tire, bottle, and rusted sign that had been tossed in. I built a dock with my own hands, cut a fire pit, and carved a trail through the pines to a little hill where I built a gazebo out of cedar and sweat. Took me 2 weeks, 3 splinters, and 1 sunburn that turned my neck the color of a stop sign, but it was worth it. Allison's birthday brought it all together. I went all out, rented a PA, set up games for the kids, strung solar lanterns from tree to tree. We had friends from all over, retired cops, Allison's book club, her cousins, even our vet showed up, toddlers in tow. 20 people, laughter echoing across the water, kids chasing each other through the grass. It felt like peace. For a minute, I thought we'd actually made it. But, peace never lasts. Not when there's always someone out there watching. Someone who thinks your happiness is an open invitation to start a fight. I guess Karen spotted the party through binoculars, because next thing I know, we're in the middle of a showdown straight out of a bad movie. It started small. The music stopped, just dead silence, like someone yanked the plug. People looked around, confused. Then came the shouting. From the North Trail, a parade of people marched in, Karen at the front, waving a megaphone, flanked by 2 guys in tactical vests, the kind you buy online to feel tough, and a bunch of teens in Protect Lake Virginia vests. They looked like they were cosplaying as activists, except meaner. Karen didn't even say hello. She started barking about environmental violations, watershed endangerment, trespassing, permits like she'd just discovered Greenpeace last week. Kids froze, parents stepped up, Allison's eyes locked on mine across the grass. One of the green vests flashed a laminated photo of a dead fish. Another waved a banner, "Save the trout." It was half comedy, half assault. Her so-called Securitino badges just attitude unplugged our speaker, marched over to the grill, and tried to shut it down. "Fire hazard," the guy muttered, reaching for the lid. I stepped in. "Touch that, and you'll be picking bratwurst out of your teeth all week." Then it got messy. One of Karen's green vests started corralling the kids like he was a sheepdog. My buddy Caleb, former wrestling coach, built like a fridge, body checked one of the security guards straight into the grass. A kid clapped. Then Dan, Allison's cousin, 6'3", recently divorced, chip on his shoulder, decked the other guy straight into the fire pit. It was chaos. Karen was screaming. Nobody was listening. I hit record on my phone and called the sheriff. Then I went to the gate, camera motion activated. Thank you very much, and rewound the footage. There she was, Karen, telling her little army, disrupt everything. Don't let them get comfortable. We'll make them surrender the shoreline by August. Timestamped, uploaded, cloud saved. Back at the party, things fizzled out. Someone, probably Allison, tossed Karen's megaphone in the lake. Karen tried to regain control, yelling about HOA jurisdiction, binding easements, misfiled shoreline. Shut up, Karen, I finally said, loud enough for everyone to hear. You're trespassing. You staged a fake protest at a kid's birthday, assaulted my guests, and I've got it all on camera. For the first time, she looked rattled. Not scared, just calculating, like she was already thinking about her next move. The sheriff arrived, Lisa Palmer, local legend. No time for drama. She took one look at the mess and went straight to work. Watched the footage. Listened to Karen's excuses. Asked if I wanted to press charges. I told her not yet, but I want a full report. And I want these clowns on record. Lisa nodded. This one's headed to court. Yeah, no kidding. Next morning, a certified letter showed up, civil complaint, signed by Karen. Accused me of everything from unauthorized use of a protected community resource to threatening behavior toward HOA officials. It was laughable, except Allison wasn't laughing. She's coming after us, she said. Legally, publicly, whatever it takes. I called Joanne Steele, a real estate attorney who didn't blink at bullies. She read Karen's complaint, smiled, and said, she's bluffing. She's trying to bleed you dry on paperwork and nerves. Don't play defense. Hit back. So we did. We assembled everything: surveys, deeds, permits, conservation approvals, every legal scrap. And the video evidence. Karen marching in, her teens with fake protest signs, her guards roughing up guests. Even better, the backup mic I'd wired to the PA system had caught Karen muttering to her guards, once we establish pattern of public use, we can force an easement claim. She wasn't defending the lake, she was angling to steal it by legal loophole. Just when I thought it couldn't get any dirtier, a news article appeared online. Scandal at the lake. Ex-federal agent accused of threats, illegal construction. The smear job was obvious, the sources anonymous, the timing perfect. Allison read it, shook her head, and poured out her tea. She's trying to erase you, she said. She just gave me the opening I needed, I replied. I dusted off a personal statement I'd recorded years before why I left the bureau, the corruption I'd seen, the names I could have named if I'd wanted to burn the place down. It had always been for my eyes only, but now I called the reporter. You want the real story? Let's talk. If Karen thought she could control the narrative, she'd picked the wrong guy. Joanne filed our counter, claimed 52 pages of trespass, assault, defamation, and abuse of process. We sent the raw footage everywhere: newsrooms, bloggers, anyone with an audience. The internet didn't disappoint. Karen storming in like a discount general, teens chanting with misspelled signs, her guard unplugging my grill, her own hot mic confession about the easement. The video went viral. Suddenly people all over the state had something to say about HOAs. Turns out, Karen had a reputation: a long line of neighbors fined for bird feeders, a disabled boy threatened with a lawsuit over his wheelchair ramp. Joanne found the smoking gun. Karen had filed a forged map, expanding HOA jurisdiction right up to our shoreline signatures. No hearings, just a rubber stamp and a prayer. We took it to the planning board in public. Are you accusing the HOA of fraud? The official stammered. No, I said, I'm proving it. Joanne secured a court injunction to freeze all HOA actions and trigger a 5-year audit. Karen doubled down: more hit pieces, more threats, even a white sedan parked across our driveway, new plates every few days. Amateurs. Allison started locking the doors. Our lazy beagle began sleeping by the window. It wasn't just about a birthday party anymore. This was a siege. The audit torched the HOA. Missing funds, phantom landscaping companies, environmental outreach paid to Karen's relatives, security guards funded by member dues. Residents revolted. A town hall meeting turned into a mutiny. By the end, the board was suspended and the county launched a criminal investigation. Karen, out on bail, vanished from sight. The courtroom was a circus. Karen, her high-priced lawyer, the whole HOA board trying to look like bystanders at their own funeral. Joanne ripped through their arguments, one by one. Forged maps, fake protests, hot mic confessions, even blog posts traced back to Karen's husband's law firm. The judge barely blinked. This court finds the actions of Mrs. Graves and the Lakeshore Ridge HOA to be in willful violation of property rights, personal reputation, and public trust. Karen was remanded pending fraud charges. The board was dissolved. The HOA ordered to pay damages. You'd think that would be the end of it. It wasn't. The next day, my inbox was full of legal threats, cease and desists, even memes. Strangers posted TikToks reenacting Karen's meltdown. One guy did it in a wig and life vest. Another had his dog play the part of a fake security guard. But the real fight wasn't online. It was out here, neighbors realizing they'd been fleeced for years, families telling their own stories, the myth of HOA invincibility cracking. A year later, the lake is peaceful again. Allison's birthday came and went, no drama, just laughter, music, kids on the grass. The sign by the dock says, "Private Property Free Zone." Sometimes people ask, "Aren't you that guy from the lake story?" Yeah, that's me. The ex-Fed who wouldn't roll over. Karen moved to a condo with no land, no power, not even a pond to boss around. We started a little advocacy site, Free Waters. Families call us when HOAs come knocking. We help. And every now and then, I catch Allison looking out over the water, smiling at the gazebo, the lanterns, the peace we fought to keep. I wish I could say it's over, but you know how these things go. Some folks never give up, even when the game's lost. But if you ask me what I learned, it's this: sometimes you have to fight, not just for land, but for the right to be left alone. Sometimes you got to take a stand, even if the world thinks you're crazy, because if you let one Karen take your peace, another will be right behind her. So, tell me, what would you have done? Was I right to push back, or did I just throw gasoline on a neighborhood bonfire? Leave a comment, share your own story, and if you've ever been railroaded by a bully with a clipboard, stay quiet. Stand your ground, speak up, and smash that like button if you want more stories from the wild side of suburbia.